The first thing I want to point out is drawing a picture of something that I've kind of talked about already. We talked about the idea of a population, and we've talked about the idea of a sample. So to summarize that, we can say that a sample, and we've talked about this already, is a subset of the population that you care about. And we've given lots of examples of populations. So as a picture, I think a picture is always worth 1,000 words, right? So let's draw this guy here, right? This is my population. This could be all chipmunks that live in Texas. That could be my population. It could be all butterflies in the world. It could be all people over 50 years old in North America or something like that. But it's impossible to actually, interact with everybody in the population, so we look at a sample, which is a subset of the population. And by subset, we mean a smaller part of the population. So this would be my sample. I want you to keep this kind of image in your head, because as we go down the road, your problems, your concepts, when we do calculations, sometimes when we're talking about the population versus the sample, the calculations will be a little different. But certainly when we're reading the more complicated concepts coming down, it'll be talking about the samples or the population parameters or things. And if you have them backwards, you're just going to get confused. So keep this image in your head. The population is the larger grouping and the sample is the smaller subset. So I think a picture is very good to keep in your mind there. All right. There are, in general, 2 branches of statistics. So I'll write that down. Branches, or types, of statistical study. So we'll just say branches of statistics in general, right? And these are definitions that, to be totally truthful with you, you're probably not going to use them too much after learning them. I mean, they'll be useful to know what they are. You'll be tested on them, but it's not like you're going to do a bunch of problems with these definitions. I'm just trying to teach them to you so that you'll understand. If you read it in your book, you'll know what it is. The first one is descriptive statistics. And descriptive statistics is exactly what it sounds like. It describes something. So that's when you gather, sort, summarize, data from samples. So that's when you're describing something, right? You gather data, from a sample, you sort it, maybe you put it in ascending order or something like that. You summarize it, maybe there's a chart or something, like a graph that you put together, or a table or something like that, and you're describing something from that data. You're not trying to really draw too many conclusions, you're just presenting it. Maybe you're making a nice chart, a nice graph that totally, everybody, all of us have seen a bar chart, right? Or a pie chart. Well, those are kind of like descriptive statistics, right? You're not really drawing conclusions, you're just drawing a pie chart showing us the percentage of people that like chocolate versus peanut butter, right? You're not really drawing too many conclusions, you're just showing us what is fact. So that's descriptive statistics. That's sort of the first part of what you do in statistical analysis. And the second part is what we call inferential statistics. Right? And you probably can figure out from this word, inferential, it means inference. To make an inference means to draw a conclusion from some information. That's what an inference is. So what this is it uses descriptive statistics, which really comprises or is comprised of data. So he uses that descriptive statistics to, and this is the important part, estimate population parameters. I've been saying this over and over. I've been saying, hey, you're interested in some kind of population. Notice we use the word parameter here, population parameters. See, so before, we have these lessons, you might kind of know what the idea of a population is, and you might kind of know what an idea of a parameter is, but now these are rock solid definitions. The population is everybody you're interested in your study. The parameters describe numerically usually, something about the population. So when we do inferential statistics, it makes sense now that we know what these words mean. We're using descriptive statistics, which means we're collecting data to estimate population parameters. Notice we use the word estimate. See, it's very unlikely that you'll ever know the population parameters with certainty because, as I've said before, it's going to be impossible to ask every person in the country if they like peanut butter or jelly better. I mean, how are we going to do that? We cannot ask 300 million people a question, so that we really can never know the population parameters exactly. So the best we can do is from our population take a sample, right? Gather all that information, and we're going to use descriptive statistics, which means we're going to gather, sort, summarize it, and do calculations. We'll find out we'll do calculations as well to estimate, right? Estimate population parameters. And the bigger your sample size, the better you collect your information, the more sophisticated your calculations, the closer your estimate to these population parameters can you get. Maybe you want to know of everybody in America, what percentage of people like pepperoni pizza? Well, you can't ask everybody. You can't. So all you do is you take a phone survey and you try to take a nice representative survey from around the country that's collecting the data, right? And from that, we go calculate how many people like pepperoni pizza, and we get a percentage. Now, we know that that percentage is not going to be the population parameter of everybody in America, but we hope that if we collect enough information from enough people and make our sample size large enough and a nice cross-section, that our estimate that we get is going to get pretty darn close to the actual population parameter, which is how many people in America like pizza. So I'm kind of just going in circles talking about this a lot because these definitions are very important. So you have descriptive statistics and you have inferential statistics. So based on these definitions, let's work a quick problem. So the first problem is going to be based on a phone survey, 22% of all men, 22% of all men dislike football. Now read this again very carefully and see what it says. What I'm going to ask you is this descriptive statistics or is this inferential statistics? That's what I'm asking. That's what the purpose of this problem is. What we're doing is we're taking a phone survey. We're trying to learn something, and what we've done is we've said that based on this phone survey, 22% of all men dislike football. Well, you should know that it's impossible to ask every man if he dislikes football or not. It's just too many people. So what we do is we take a survey, and from that, we're saying that based on the survey, we're saying 22% actually don't like football. What we have done is inferential statistics because we've drawn a conclusion, we've drawn an inference. We've used descriptive statistics, data, to estimate population parameter. In this case, the population is all men. The parameter is what percentage dislikes football. That would be the nice thing that we like to calculate of truth. What percentage of all men dislike football? That would be our population parameter because the population is all men. The parameter is what percentage really dislike football. It's impossible to do that because I can't ask everybody. So we do a survey and we draw this conclusion. So based on the way this is phrased, this is inferential statistics. Just a quick example there. Basically, if it's inferential, it's drawing a conclusion based on some kind of data. Now, the second problem, just to kind of drill this in, is 65% of seniors at a local high school applying to college plan to major in business. All right, so my question to you is this descriptive or inferential statistics? So what we've done is we've said 65% of seniors at a local high school applying to college plan to major in business. Well, I don't know about you, but I don't see any inference drawn. What I'm trying to say by inference is usually you look at data and you draw a broad conclusion from that. All this is saying is that 65% of the people we talk to at a local high school are majoring in business. It doesn't draw a conclusion and say that 65% of all seniors in America are going to major in business based on some survey or based on some data. It doesn't draw a broad conclusion of a broad population based on that. This is just presenting a fact. The fact is that we took the survey and 65% actually said that they would major in business. So this is descriptive statistics. Okay. Descriptive versus inferential. Basically, one of them is describing the data that you've collected. The other one is using the data to draw an inference or a conclusion about your population. So that's about all I want to talk about here. I want to get these definitions on, make sure you understand them, so that as we go forward and we talk about inferential this or inferential that or descriptive this or descriptive that, you'll have a clear concept in your head of what that means. Also, I want you to keep this picture in your head. Population's the big fish that you care about. It's everybody in your study, let's say. And then you have a small sample that you take out of that, so keep that in mind as well. Follow me on to the next section where we will continue going step by step through these concepts, and we'll gradually get into the math part where we're doing these calculations, and all of these definitions will come into play and make it much easier to understand all of the future concepts coming up. Learn anything at mathandscience.com.